Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe with episode number 13, Syzygy. That's how you say it, right? Syzygy. 3 Y's in that thing. Why? Interesting. January 26, 96, of course, is when it first airs. Rob Bowman, again, as our director. This one, though, compliments in terms of writing, Chris Carter, which is always a gift when we see that he has actually written the episode. We've got 2 episodes in a row, actually, and I'm sort of reviewing these back-to-back. Not to be dropped back-to-back, but just done. This one in episode 14, Grotesque. 2 Monsters of the Week episodes. But then we have Piper, Maru, and Apocrypha drop number 15 and 16, and that we return to the mythos, and looking forward to that in terms of what we have covered yet, so far along the road of the mythos road. So 2 Monsters of the Week episodes. So with Syzygy, a little bit of an astrological, paranormal type sort of weird, not really weird, but I mean, basically we got 2 girls in the town of Comedy, New Hampshire. It's their birthday, and their birthday falls on the, I can't remember, 80-some years, every 84 maybe years. It is a straight line of, what do we say, the configuration of 3 celestial bodies. Specifically, we're talking about Mars, Uranus, and Mercury, and when these things line up, it can create havoc for those born, apparently, if you're into numerology and astrology and all this stuff, right? And this is what happens, and not just for those in the town, which is reflected in more of a mob sort of mentality that is reflected mostly in the high school principal, who is so out of character. And that is the mark of this episode, is everyone is really out of character, even Mulder and Scully, who just constantly go back and forth at each other. And sometimes it's actually kind of funny. Sometimes it's sort of like, I don't like seeing this. I'd rather see the relationship continue to evolve and move forward. But this is one of those where they sort of take a break from that. And they probably had a lot of fun actually doing it. I would imagine they did. There's a great little nod, I think. I'm calling it the way I see it. I feel like it's a little bit of a nod to Fight the Future. And if you remember, when they're driving, they have an argument about whether they should, I think, turn left or right. That's when they're chasing after the train sequence there. I felt like sort of a call. Well, I mean, it's not. Well, obviously it's season 3, so it's not a callback to that. It's sort of a foreshadow. I feel like the Fight the Future is a callback to that, right? And so I kind of got that weird energy or vibe, I guess. But these 2 girls, man, it all really revolves around them, and so they, unbeknownst to them, that they're sort of acting in unison. They're targeting boys to almost a cultic, like ritualistic way, murder. One of these boys, who is I want to say he was the quarterback of the football team, so the jock, the popular kid, blew me away. I did not see this in the episode. I saw it when I started to look at the guest appearances and whatnot. I could not believe my eyes. DeBoom is his character name. Ryan Reynolds, man, Deadpool himself is in this thing. And the one film I keep forgetting about, I keep wanting to I don't think I've even seen it, but the Amityville Horror remake from 2005. He's in here. So, and there's a great guest appearance in the next one as well. We'll get there. And then you got this detective, Angela White, who also will act way out of character for herself. Not everyone acts out of character, though. You got one boy in particular who the girls target towards the end, and he's able to actually resist them off. As their flirtation is meant to signal to him that they mean to take the distance with him if he obliges them. But he is so fraught with what has happened, and I think in particular DeBoom's character's death. He really doesn't want anything to do with it. And so there is a bit of sobriety. Now, maybe that is out of character for who he really is. I didn't even think about that. And so you kind of got, people are just not acting their normal selves. Even the two girls who are sort of at this epicenter of this, it's said by Detective Angela White, it's said that these two girls, man, academically, socially, they're your, they're your examples of what kids ought to be. No one's perfect, right? We're not trying to say that, but they're great kids, and no one would expect in a million years that they would be lying or somehow a part of what is happening. The town, as it's in its mob mentality, seems to think this is, of course, can all be traced back to Satan and Satan's influence, and needs to be out, casted out of the town. And so you've got moments where these people, show up at this guy's house. He's the town's pediatrician. He's got his own, perhaps problematic hobbies, whatnot, thing he's into. That doesn't help his cause when they show up banging on the door, because they suspect he is at the center of the killings. Now, we do hear it is said, and we don't know if this is actually true or not, but we are told that he had made certain I'm trying to think the right word. He acted in a way he ought not have acted around kids previously. We don't know if that's necessarily true. We suspect it is, but either way, it's a great reflection in how a mob can get out of control and start laying blame where blame ought not to be laid. In this, it's really just more of a cosmic misalignment of just the universe in a way that has an impact on how people act, I guess. And so really that is sort of, the main root of the problem here. There is a really creepy instance here where, when we see DeBoom killed, we don't actually see him killed, but we see the aftermath where he's just sort of hanging from a rocky cliff. And while the detectives show up and they find his body, the two girls in question are up at the top just laughing and giggling about it. That's kind of creepy. There's a scene where the two are celebrating their birthday, and of course all the other girls invited, whatnot, all looking at them like these are two complete absolute weirdos. Like they are so out of character for themselves in terms of just how they're dancing about and acting and whatnot. But there's a creepy scene involving a Ouija board in which the girl that is been sort of conned into messing with it. The question is, who are you marrying? Of course, the answer ultimately is Satan, and that's a bit creepy, especially how the girl, as an actress, conveys that. It's pretty creepy. And so, there's some great moments in here that just do work well. And so, yeah, Ryan Reynolds guesting in this thing, and I think I pretty much I guess the only thing I really came across is where Rob Bowman haven't mentioned that he just felt the episode was way too rushed, and would have wished he would have had a little bit more time, I think, to flesh out Chris's script or teleplay for this. But other than that, I think it plays. And another pivotal moment when DeBoom, the funeral scene, it's the funeral viewing, whatever. He's the principal who manages to break into the sanctuary. It's in a church. and and is pleading with the people that this is a result of Satan as well. The two girls ultimately are affronted by his gesture, and they telekinetically, however it is they're able to do it, apparently they force the casket just to burst in flames, which is, you can imagine being a parent in that kind of a situation. That would be absolutely the definition of just mortification, just being mortified to the nth level. So that's a lot of things going on that make it kind of fun, and it's a great preface sort of into what we're going to get into this next week with Grotesque, which I'm about, as soon as I hit the stop button, jump right into that and talk about that. So episode 13, before you know it, we're going to be coming to the end of season 3 and making way for season 4. And if you haven't noticed, I've also started a similar process for The Walking Dead. We're very early on, just a couple episodes in fact, I'm doing episode 3 today. Tell It to the Frogs, and that's been a lot of fun so far, so look out for that as well if you haven't noticed. Anyways, we always end these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream.
We might be useful to